Welcome to Parnell Park for this go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final. It is Ballyboden St Endas against St Judes. Coleman Goggins, this could be quite the encounter.
Yeah, for sure. Two Southside giants, Ballyboden, obviously their reputation goes before them. Judes, a team who've been knocking at the door for so long and trying to break through a Dublin Senior Championship. So huge prize on offer in terms of a place in the Dublin Senior Championship final. And both sides well capable. Judes didn't get off to a great start against Cool in their quarter-final, where I think a goal and 3 to no score down before they actually got into the game and only led the game into the last couple of minutes, whereas the reverse of that is Boden have looked so impressive throughout the championship. They keep improving, fortnight on fortnight. They're getting better every time they come into the rounds of the championship. So you're expecting them to go up a level. Judes definitely need to raise their game a level versus where they were at Coola, but both well capable of doing that. So, huge opportunity for both teams, but really looking forward to two big powerhouses.
And this is the route that St Judes took.
Yeah, big scores, 9:45, 4:40 conceded. Mentioned that game, really the quarterfinals when the action started. They were trailing 1-3 to no score after 10-12 minutes, so they did well to come back into it and only led towards the end of it. So big performance against Coola to get them to this stage.
And they never looked panicked in that game. Now, I wasn't on that game, Marcus was, but I watched it back during the week, and even when they were 6 down, they never looked like they were worried.
No, but Judes have a level of consistency that they always bring to championship matches, and sometimes that's good enough to win them. And unfortunately, from a Judes perspective, they've left a few behind them on times. Certainly a county final here a couple of years ago where they look back and think there was one they left behind them. That said, you nearly know what you're going to get with them. They don't allow easy scoring opportunities. Everything you get off them is hard fought for, and Ballyboden be well aware of that. So they'll give themselves an opportunity of winning the game. The question is, have they the firepower to try and do that? And I think year on year they're getting better in terms of their attacking options up front, and this year certainly with the likes of Connerton inside, McMenamin and Spillane on the inside line, and Dara Rooney out in the 40, they have opportunities and score getters to try and do that.
Well, Ballyboden have looked decent on their way to the semi-finals, haven't they?
Yeah, they were good here in their opening game against Ballymun without being exceptional, and Ballymun were missing a couple of players that day on the back of I think it was Dean Rockstag probably coincided with the week previous, so they probably weren't in the best shape, Ballymun, but Ballyboden were good. But you can just see how they've stepped up the gears as they've gone and had a massive performance in the quarter-final against Castleknock. Castleknock had been good in their last group game, so they were coming with a challenge, but Ballyboden snuffed it out fairly early and went on to win the game. And while they maybe haven't shot the lights out in terms of their overall scoring, and their concession rate is probably similar to Jude's, they're very pacey up front. They know exactly what they want to do and trying to get Pascal's involved in the game in the inside line. And then they have a huge man in Ryan O'Dwyer as well if they can get ball into him. So really physical in terms of how they're going to approach the game. So expect collisions from the get-go here. And it's all going to come down to a physical battle and who comes out on top of that.
Speaking of physicality, Michael Dara McCauley around the middle, still able to bring the ball up and down the park, still able to turn over ball. He is so important to them.
Yeah, massive, and he's not afraid to give his opinion in interviews after the game, as we've seen a couple of weeks ago when he had to hop off a couple of his former Dublin colleagues standing on the sideline. Look, his ability and what he brings to the team is phenomenal, and what he always gives his 100% effort and energy, and that just inspires everything around him. And then you've got that quality up front in terms of Colin Pascal and his brother Ryan beside him. But that half-forward line, very, very hard-working and hugely powerful. Watch out for Warren Egan. Ross McGarry used to play inside, has come out, gives them more of an option on the ball from that. But Warren Egan, hugely powerful, be looking to get on the end of a lot of moves too.
And there is the bench. Lots of experience on that bench as well. Darren O'Reilly amongst those in that bracket. Paddy Dunleavy, a big man who can win ball as well, and a fit, athletic man. We will get to the St Jude's team in just a second, but before we do, we'll have a moment's silence before the game for Bernard Boothman, the former Dublin hurler who passed away during the week. Bernard played for Dublin in their last All-Ireland final appearance in 1961. Bernard Boothman remembered before the first game here today. We remembered Frank Brady, who was the chairman for many years of the Junior Football Board. He was also the referees coordinator, a role he continued until early last year. We're thinking of both families today. So let's have a look at the St. Jude's 15. Liam Connaughton, more than capable of getting goals. Beside him, Kevin McManaman, who can still cut defences apart. And there's a familiar name wearing 13, Pat Spillane. At the back, Kieran Fitzpatrick, an inter-county player for many years. And Benny Flynn, as he's better known, between the sticks, who has played inter-county football for Leitrim. Alan Connolly, also capable of making an impact if he comes in, as is Chris Guckian, who is in that experienced category. Danny Sutcliffe, of course, played inter-county football for New York.
Yeah, such a solid spine on the Judes team. You know, Bowden need to shut that down. Really strong up the middle of the field. It's just a matter of, you know, physicality.
And we're underway, and it's Cian Darcy who gets the first possession. He's fouled. Just in case you're dropping in on the go-ahead Dublin Senior Football Championship for the first time, Ballyboden in the stripes, St. Jude's in the mostly navy jerseys. Ross McGarry, you mentioned him. And here he is again, making his way over Collie Basquel, but instead it goes to James Holland. Michael Dara McCauley. Making a burst is Kieran Kennedy. Instead he goes to James Holland. Holland spins to Ryan O'Dwyer. Ryan O'Dwyer gets the pass away. Cian Darcy lays it off. They find a route through to James Holland. Holland taps it over for the first score, or does he? Yes, he does, via the woodwork.
Yeah, great play. You can see how fluid they are in terms of their positions. Colin Basquel has come out to the 40. Ross McGarry has gone inside. Michael Dara McCauley made a burst through, put a screen to create a little bit of space inside. Holland bursts through and pops it over the bar. Real lift and intensity, pace into this early on.
Dave Feeney, by the way, is our referee, as the ball is sent long by Flint, the goalkeeper. Colin Murphy, who was known as Big Diesel during his charity boxing days, turning and running Liam Connaughton, the Longford man who's made a big impact for St. Jude's. Off it goes to Kevin McManaman. Rolls it back to David Sheehy. Kevin Lahiff. Taken well. Oisin Manning, the Wicklow player. Alex Hassett making a burst. He wants it. Dara Rooney scored 1-7 against Coola. Here's Oisin Manning. Oisin Manning. That's a good hand pass. He's in the corner, but he keeps his composure. Well, just as I say that, he gives it away to Colin Basquel. Now running onto it, Alex Gavin. Not much on for Gavin, so he has to go short to Brian Bobbitt. Now they go long. James Holland is there again. Holland drops it, regathers. Kieran Fitzpatrick is with them all the way. Now it's a good run from Brian Basquel. Basquel finds his man, that's Luke O'Donoghue. Luke O'Donoghue looking to double the lead, and Luke O'Donoghue does that, exactly that.
What a score. One end of the field to the other. They pushed him into a corner. There was a hand pass, went into the corner. They won it in the corner. Colin Basquel was back there, worked it out. The furthest man forward when they broke was James Holland. Won the ball, popped it off, and a great score from Ballyboden. Real counter-attacking football, played his best. Luke O'Donoghue, good score.
Ryan O'Dwyer, it was given to him. Ryan O'Dwyer, can he take the present and accept the invite? Ryan O'Dwyer, yes he can. Well, that was a poor score to concede from the St. Jude's point of view. They got away with a bad start against Coola. They may not be so lucky against Ballyboden. They have to stop the rot.
Yeah, quick fire, 3 scores there. Poor kick out, real pressure on the kick out. But Ryan O'Dwyer delivers another score. 3 on the spin inside the first few minutes.
It's high, but in fairness to the defender.
Well won.
Yeah. Kevin Lahiff. Lahiff trying to get around Ryan O'Dwyer. Lahiff eating up the ground. Lahiff still going, trying to stop him now. Is Basquel. Still Lahiff. This is good running from Lahiff. Oisin Manning. Manning launches. He's looking inside for Connaughton, but he doesn't find him. It's really well defended. Shane Clayton got out to it.
Yeah, Shane Clayton, in fairness, is probably one of the best defenders in Dublin football for a long time. Liam Connaughton is going to fight a tough going against him. It'll be a good battle inside, worth watching.
Sheehy chasing his man there. That was Flaherty. Flaherty gets it back to Luke O'Donoghue. There's so many players out there who fall into that in any other county bracket. In any other county, they'd be playing for their county. Obviously, the competition in Dublin is fierce, but
yeah, Shane was probably unlucky. He was involved in the Dublin squad and got injured, pulled a hamstring, and you know, with so many bodies, was probably unlucky not to get back into it. But from a club perspective, absolutely phenomenal serving for Ballyboden.
Well, we saw it with Craig Diaz this year. He was in the Dublin panel, on the Dublin panel, got an All-Ireland medal. Running onto it is Alex Gavin. Gavin is through here. Gavin takes his score, or does he? Yes, he does.
Yeah, great cut when he gets on the ball here. Brilliant from Pascal again. Just feeds him on the run, driving through the gap. Shows, comes back outside onto his left foot. Great score, despite Lahif trying to get in on a block on him. Really great start from Ballyboden. Judes need to find some way of settling into the game. Struggling right now.
Into the hands of Cormac McCartan. Kevin McManaman gave the call, but it went to Oisin Manning. Manning spots a man in space. Paddy O'Loughlin gives to Pat Spillane from Kerry, but plays inter-county football for Sligo. Qualifies under the parentage rule. His mother, of course, is from Sligo.
Yeah, great defending, big difference. They're matching runs every time a Judes player looks for it. There's a defender on the shoulder. You've seen it with Clayton. You've seen it again there with Cathal Flaherty. They've gone man-on-man on the players. They think they need to go man-on-man on, and then are playing a spare in front of a great start from Ballyboden.
James Holland carries it out, gets it over to Alex Gavin. Shane Clayton. Clayton. Flaherty. Jude's dropping everyone behind the ball. I assume the plan is to turn over and go on the break, but you have to get the ball first. Here's Brian Bobbitt. Bobbitt pressurised and tackled by Kevin McManaman. Bobbitt finds Clayton. Michael Dara McCauley. Michael Dara McCauley. He only has one setting, doesn't he? Who's it going to break to? St. Jude's get the free out. Lahif takes it quickly, gives it to Spillane. Spillane with only one to aim at, but he does go for Kevin McManaman, who's got a long way to travel, but he's so quick and he can take on defenders. Bobbitt is with him, but it's still Kevin Mack who tries to cut inside. He's still going, Kevin McManaman. Runs out of road, gives back to Spillane. Spillane, good block down. James Holland. He's had some big plays already in this game, hasn't he, James Holland? A point and then that block down.
Yeah, great block. Spillane didn't get out of the traffic enough, gave Holland a chance to get hands on a brilliant block, and Bowden coming the other way. Great defending, wins it back for Judes.
Colin Murphy picks out a pass to Dara Rooney. Rooney has to be careful here. Gavin is chasing him down. Rooney gives it away. He might get lucky. Michael Dara McCauley is watching on his key, and Darcy gets in to scoop it up. And Darcy is fouled, and it's a free, which comes the way of Michael Dara McCauley. McGarry chased down by David Sheehy. McGarry goes long. Flynn has to be careful here. Might fall out to Pasquale, it does. Pasquale spotted the run of Ryan Pasquale's brother. He has the shot. Was he fouled? Referee says no. Colm and Ryan combining there, but didn't get the score.
Yeah, well done, Oisin Manning. Tracked the run all the way. Looked like Pascal. Ryan had just got ahead of him there. Got enough of a challenge on him. But what a blistering opening 7-8 minutes. You can see guys sucking in air there. It's just been such a quick opening. Ballyboden obviously delivering on the scoreboard, but Judes are trying to get to grass with the pace. Slowly coming into it.
Oisin Manning has a look up. Into the corner it goes. Clayton running out to it. Connerton can't keep it in play.
Yeah, he's not best pleased with the pass either. I think from the moment it left the boot, he was thinking, I'm not going to get to that. And that was probably reflective in the effort to get there. Gives Bowden a chance to build once more.
Kennedy. Michael Dara McCauley running onto it. Chased down by Oisin Manning. Two experienced campaigners. Michael Dara McCauley tries to find Ryan Pasquale. He's got Pasquale, who has to go back to Michael Dara McCauley. Pokes one through. It's Colin Pasquale! It's wide. Let's have a look at that again.
What a pass from Michael Dara McCauley on both occasions. Over the top for Ryan Pascal first time, then he spots Pascal coming through, shovels it through. Oh, it was inches away from hitting the side of the net there. Opening for Bowden. That goal would have been similar to the start Kula had against Judes a couple of weeks ago. Not to be, just goes the wrong side of the post, but what a chance for Colin Pascal.
Decent crowd over on the far side. You can see them now. Also under us in the terrace there's a decent crowd. Cormac McCartan lays it off for Kevin Lahif. Oisin Manning. David Sheehy. Kieran Kennedy kind of waiting for him to run down his channel. Sheehy gives to Spillane. Kieran Fitzpatrick. Lehif. Lehif. Making the burst was Dara Rooney. Rooney receives. Dara Rooney trying to get away from James Holland. It's not easy to do. Tom Lehif, who got a goal against Kula. Here's Kevin Lehif. Lehif lays it off. Connaughton. Connaughton still going. The run was being made there by David Sheehy. Connaughton couldn't get it to him, played it on the ground, free out. Jude's yet to score here.
Yeah, set a brilliant trap there. Bowden just opened up a little bit of space. The ball went into Connaughton. Before he had the ball collected, there was 4 around him. Made it so difficult for him to get the ball away. The way Bowden have set up is impressive. They've gone man-on-man pretty much across the field. They're playing an extra sweeper, but their forwards are staying with the defender, so they're not allowing that run from the back to try and cause many problems. Great setup initially in the first 10 minutes for them, for sure.
Cian Darcy. Basquel comes out. Here is Colin Basquel being followed by Kieran Fitzpatrick. Basquel gives it off. Is that James Holland again? It is. He's popping up everywhere. Running onto it now is Ross McGarry. Ross McGarry couldn't get the shot away. He was surrounded, but he does keep the possession, gets into a bit of space, gets the shot away eventually, but can't keep it on target. Second wide for Ballyboden.
Yeah, probably wrong option from Ross McGarry there. Had got inside and was a great pass that found him, but probably needed to come out and shovel the ball out to give an opportunity for someone else. But Jude's really struggling with the pace. Bowden have started off with here, struggling to come to terms with the attacking prowess that Bowden are bringing to them, and need a score to settle themselves. 11 minutes on the clock.
With it in hand, Warren Egan.
Yeah, it just demonstrates the impact Bowden are having on them. The press, there's no options for them, there's no out ball.
Egan. Running down the line is Gavin. Gavin takes it. Gavin puts it inside. Could be a goal here for Ballyboden. It is. It's smashed home by Ryan O'Dwyer.
Brilliant goal from Ryan O'Dwyer. All came from a soft turnover from Tom Lehif in the middle of the field. Brilliant run from Gavin. Breaks the line. Looks across. There's a spare man. Does well to step inside and roofs it into the top of the net from a Ballyboden. What a start, but it's all down to the energy, the intensity that Bowden have brought in the first quarter here. Haven't given Judes an opportunity. They've gone man on man. They've picked out the matchups they think they need to get right. So far, everything going well for them.
Oisin Manning takes it. Judes need to get going. Colin Murphy. Bit of a dangerous ball, but it is rescued by Tom Lehif. Now it's Pat Spillane. Kevin Lehif. Pat Spillane. Making a burst, trying to help him out is David Sheehy. Spillane continues to carry. Connaughton there as well. Now it's Liam Connaughton. Connaughton back outside. Kevin Lehif. He wants it back. I don't think he'll get it back for now anyway. Here's Dara Rooney. Now it is Lehif again. Manning. That's a decent ball. Can he turn? Dara Kavanagh. Kavanagh spilled it. Picking it up is Dara Rooney, but it's a free in. And Judes with the chance to get a score finally.
Yeah, but one end of the field, Alex Gavin is making a blistering run to set a guy up for a pass. The next one, he's turning over the ball. Warren Egan bends on that ball. It's Bowden's free rather than the other way around. He left his boot in and just allows Judes to get a little bit of a foothold. This is an important kick. I know it's only 12, 13 minutes in. But for Dara Rooney, just to get something on the board for Judes and allow them put a press on the Bowden kick out.
And Dara Rooney gets it. St. Jude's desperately needed that. His jersey was being tugged, but Luke O'Donoghue still got there and still got the possession. Pasquale, Kennedy, Michael Dara McCauley. Michael Dara McCauley taking the hits and just marauding forward. Continues his run. Here's Ross McGarry, Michael Dara McCauley. Michael Dara McCauley trying to take the direct route. Did he touch it on the ground there? The referee says it's a free out to St. Jude's, and Michael Dara gets involved with Kieran Fitzpatrick, and then the two of them just back off because no one wants a card. David Sheehy. Oisin Manning.
Well, you mentioned there was no panic in the game against Kula, so you'd like to think Judes are, sucking it up and trying to recover the ground here. They've been in this position before. They're still only 6 points down, but a blistering start from Ballyboden.
Dara Rooney, Cormac McCartan, Pat Spillane pops it out. Kevin Mack, That's well taken. Finds its way to Pat Spillane. Pat Spillane looking for Judes. First from play, and he's got it. That familiar Spillane style.
Yeah, great movement of the ball through the hands. Nice little foot pass. Just opened it up to Colin Murphy, who popped it on to Spillane. And Spillane finds the range. And, good to get two on the spin for Judes.
Spillane, who beat his cousin who was playing with Kula in the quarter-final. Colin Basquel. Basquel has Ryan O'Dwyer as an option. He's dispossessed. Great work by Paddy O'Loughlin. Kieran Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, stayed with him all the way. Didn't jump in, didn't give the ball away or give opportunity. Well in, Shane Clayton. Oh, he's unlucky.
Dara Rooney fouled by Shane Clayton, free in for St. Jude's.
Yeah, he's unlucky, Clayton. I'm not sure Rooney was fully bent on it, but Dave Feeney reckoned he was, gives the free.
McCartan gave to Tom Lahiff, who moves it on to Cormac McCartan. Cormac McCartan looking for Spillane. Good defending by Flaherty. Just muscled him off it.
He did. He certainly left enough on him to make, maybe ask a question of it, but not enough for Feeney to give the free. Great run by Spillane, though. He started off in the middle of the D, went hard looking for it, just unlucky not to collect.
Michael Dara McCauley. Shane Clayton. Connerton is with them. Clayton. Pasquale. Cian Darcy. Pasquale. Looking for Ryan O'Dwyer and finding him. Ryan O'Dwyer trying to escape here from the fullback Fitzpatrick. Gets the shot away. Gets the score. He's having a fine game. He's on 1-2.
Yes, the speed of his turn when he gets on the ball here. He wins it straight and then turns directly into the face of Kieran Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick has no route but to allow him pass him. And once he gets in on that left foot, he pops it over the bar. 1-2 inside 16, 17 minutes.
St. Jude's desperate to get back to the final. They lost in heartbreaking circumstances in 2021. It's looking like a long journey from this point, but as we say, they do have firepower. Here's Oisin Manning. Manning tackled by Michael Dara McCauley. It's a foul, a free in. Here's Pat Spillane.
He probably got lucky there. Thought he'd overcarried when he turned back, but gets the benefit of the doubt.
McCartan. Kevin McManaman. Kevin McManaman gets away from Basquel. Still Kevin McManaman. Running onto it was Dara Rooney. Spilled into the path of Kevin McManaman. David Sheehy. Kevin McManaman. Nowhere for him to go except across the field.
Yeah,
Clever
brilliant
ball.
pressure on the ball by Ballyboden. Every time they get over the 45, it's hands on. They're not letting them break lines. See again the pressure on the ball.
Tom Lahiff got it outside. Kevin Lahiff wants it here and gets it. Kevin Lahiff plays it in front of the man. Hand in there from Warren Egan. And Ballyboden get the breaking ball and they get the free.
Yeah, brilliant from Warren Egan. Follow the ball all the way out, but it's systematic in the pressure on the ball. There's so much pressure that they're then forcing a pass from Judes. Really good start from Ballyboden. Know what they're trying to do all the time. Put pressure on the passer, therefore giving the defender an opportunity to get a hand in.
Ross McGarry. It's a good carry from Ross McGarry. Comes back his way. Ryan O'Dwyer is inside the square. Here's Ryan Basquel. Ryan Basquel with Colin running inside that 20-metre line. Here is what Colin Basquel. Colin Basquel takes his point.
Yes.
Might have been tempted to go for goal, but probably did the wise thing in tapping it over.
Yeah, so good. Maybe if Ryan's pass had come the other side of the defender, just put him a bit narrower out in terms of an angle. But again, a great run. The pace, the movement, so fluid at the moment for Ballyboden.
Taken by Lahiff. Cormac McCartan. Oisin Manning. Paddy O'Loughlin has support from Alex Hassett, the former Cork minor. Kevin Lahiff. Ballyboden happy enough to let them have it there. It's when they take it inside that 45. That's when Ballyboden put the pressure on. That's well taken. David Sheehy. Lahiff is outside. Kevin McManaman there is an option as well. Oisin Manning. Manning. That has to be pinpoint accurate, and it isn't.
Yeah, but look where he's picking out a pass from. Mush. He's 50 yards out from goal. He's trying to hit somebody inside where there's lots of bodies trying to clog up space. You hit the nail on the head. You can come to 45, but once you pass that line, we're going to get hands on. We're going to get contact on it, and they're putting huge pressure on Judes. Able to work kick-outs as well. So there's a long row back for Judes here. They're not set up at the minute to try and counteract what's happening from a Bowden perspective. Early to be looking for half time, but they need to put a stop on allowing Bowden build like this.
Clayton. Intercepting was the defender. Manning. Dara Rooney. Kavanagh. Hassett. Kavanagh. Hassett. Hassett has to be careful here. Goes for the foot pass. Kevin McManaman out in front. Kevin McManaman will take it on. Kevin McManaman will get a big score. His first of the game.
Yeah, well, it's a easy option. If he's space inside in front of him, let the ball into him. What they haven't had is that opportunity. Ball came earlier. He had that little bit of space. Turned Bobbit, knocked it over the bar. More of that from a Jude's perspective, certainly.
Gavin. Holland. Clayton. Holland makes a burst. Clayton carries. Clayton's still with it. Ross McGarry still with him. Clayton is fouled by Manning. It's a free in.
Yeah, the impact of the runner off the ball there. So there was 2 runs made. James Holland made a run, took one of the defenders with him as Colin Murphy on that occasion. The second runner then flew through on the right side of him, which meant Clayton could go straight at Manning because Manning's under pressure. Does he stick? Does he go? Gives away the free opportunity for Ryan Basquel. You know, and Jude's often set up that way. They're defensive. They sit back. They try and coax you into, into contact so they might get a turnover. But Bowden are just moving so quick through the ball, through the phases. They're not giving them a chance to turn them over.
Ryan Basquel looking for his first. And finding it.
Great kick. Judes were looking at this at the start of the game and they said, we'll hold Colin Basquel to a point, we'll hold Ryan Basquel to a point inside the first 22 minutes, we should be okay. But it's not the case because others have stood up and got scores for them.
And they've got it back. Here's Colin Basquel. Plenty of options. Might take it on himself. Goes to McGarry. McGarry! Good save by the goalkeeper. Benny Flynn came out and made himself big and did enough. And here's Hassett. Down the line it goes to Lahif. Is that a game-changing moment? Jude 7 down, but still hanging on in there. Cian Darcy doing his best to hold up Lahif, but he can't. Lahif's still going. Lahif wins the free in. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, well, that could be a big swing. Again, the kick out missed over the head. Colin Basquel is bearing down in goals, pops it out to McGarry. Could McGarry have given it back to him? Basquel was looking for a keeper, makes a great save, in fairness to him. Shuts it down. Flynn. And the turnover works in terms of Dara Rooney's opportunity to get a score when it could have been a goal for Bowden to narrow the gap. Rooney,
it's a 6-point game. Rooney with his second free.
And what a difference. It could have been 2-7, 10-3. 13-3 instead. It's 10-4.
Gogan finds his man. That's a great kick out from Holland and a great fetch. Kennedy, Michael Dara McCauley, Basquel. Ryan rather than Colin. Gavin. Gavin continues his run. It comes back his way. It's opening up for him. Gavin didn't catch it right. Third wide for Ballyboden St Endas.
He's having a big impact. You know, Judes haven't got to grips with the runs that Gavin is making. Again, that quick turn when they get on the ball. It's a direct turn and they feed the ball forward. They're not running in arcs. It's a real straight line running from Bowden.
Well taken by Colin Murphy. Murphy going long, looking for Connaughton, but it's Clayton who takes it. Gavin again. Michael Dara McCauley. James Holland. Alex Gavin. James Holland. Cathal Flaherty. Heard the call from behind and just went with the sensible pass. Colin Basquel. Colin Basquel trying to dance through, gets around Lahif. This is great stuff from Colin Basquel. Colin Basquel. That's fantastic. His second of the day.
That's an unbelievable score from Colin Pascal. Backed himself into the corner, comes back onto his left foot, pops it over the bar. No, there's jobs being issued, but you've got to get close, got to get a try, a block on. It was Lahif, Kevin tracking back, who didn't manage to get on him, knocks it over. Great score from Colin Pascal.
Well, yesterday's semi-final went to penalties. It doesn't look like that's going to happen here. A long time to go yet, though. Kevin Lahif, Alex Hassett. Cormac McCartan. Lahif. Kieran Fitzpatrick. Hassett. Hassett. Kevin Mack. Good ball. Connerton. Oisin Manning. Kevin Mack. That's a good pass. What can they do with the possession here? Recycled by Lahif. Outside from Rooney. Kieran Fitzpatrick. He's going for it. They desperately need it. But unfortunately, they haven't got it. Second wide for St. Jude's.
Yeah, right man from a Bowden perspective taking the shot. Wrong man from Jude's. Great ball in by Kevin McMenamin into Connerton. But he had to travel 20 yards to get out of the traffic to shovel off a pass again. Really impressive opening half from Ballyboden.
Gavin. Gavin gets it back. Gavin. Laid it off to Warren Egan. Holland. Ryan Pascal. Holland continues his run. Warren Egan. Ryan Pascal. Ryan Pascal. Warren Egan. Ryan Pascal. Ryan Pascal thought about shooting, but thought better of it then. Gavin laid it off. Kieran Kennedy. Kennedy didn't catch it right. Might stay in play. No, Colin Pascal just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, great work again to come across the field. There's a lot of players being passed on by Judes. They're just not getting to pick up the spare player all the time. Good kick out, gets the ball away.
Paddy O'Loughlin had to get there. Here's Pat Spillane. Great to see Pat Spillane injury-free. He's had issues over the last couple of seasons. A really fine footballer, an exciting footballer. David Sheehy. Paddy O'Loughlin. Cormac McCartan. Kieran Fitzpatrick. Despite the fact that they have that 7-point lead, you can just hear it from the sideline from the Ballyboden mentors. Come on, let's work. No let up from them. Tom Lahif. Interception. Great work from Warren Egan. Cian Darcy. Michael Dara McCauley. Michael Dara McCauley slaloming out. Warren Egan. Brian Bobbitt. Clayton. Clayton. Connerton trying to stop him, but Clayton keeps going. Connerton fouls him. Free in Ballyboden jersey tug there.
Yeah, the call you made on the sideline there was a name, Ryan Pascal. Work. He kept calling him back into it. Ryan Pascal came into the move and was actually part of the numbers that resulted in the turnover on the far side of the field. He maybe wasn't able to get back up to support from an attacking point of view, but Shane Clayton steps into the mix and drives forward, wins a free. Not a great one.
Overcomplicated it. Manning tries to swallow this up, and he does. Manning composed there. Kevin McManaman. Pat Spillane is calling for it. Gets it. Brian Bobbitt is with him. Coming back is Gavin. Spillane will take them all on himself. Spillane at pace, pinning the ears back. Spillane. Good score. A very good score. His second of the game.
Yeah, brilliant. He had 40 yards of space in front of him. Two defenders. He didn't really have options but to go straight. Went straight, reset himself. Does well against Bobbitt to knock it over. Big score for Judes. Great play from Pat Spillane.
Well, they have goals in them, St. Jude's. You get the feeling they'll need one or two in this game. Still 6 behind. Great catch, Luke O'Donoghue.
was two inside. O'Dwyer and Basquel are furious he didn't go, and there was a lot of space in front there. It's a 50-50.
Gavin going for it, waiting for it was Kavanagh, and Gavin has it, and he's got two with him. Might just take the point himself. Gavin! Second point of the game for him.
Now that's an outrageous win. The ball drops 50-50 there. You're expecting the Judes man to come across and pick it up. Initially went back with the ball. Shane Clayton, who sprayed it across the field here. Great ball across. You're backing the defender here, but he sticks a paw out and just pops it over his head. Maybe half chance goal, decides to back himself, knock it over. They haven't got the grips on him at all on that left side of the field.
McCartan took it from Flynn's kick out. Lahif. Still feels kind of odd when you don't see Paul Copeland between the sticks for St. Jude, doesn't it?
Such a servant, yeah, brilliant for Judes over the years.
Kevin McManaman cutting through. Kevin McManaman still going. Kevin McManaman spills it, but is able to retrieve, gives it to Dara Rooney. David Sheehy, I beg your pardon. David Sheehy didn't catch his shot right at all.
Yeah,
and that's half time.
Front.
That's okay. 1-9 Ballyboden, 5 points St. Jude's. And I think you summed it up there, Coleman, even though I rudely interrupted you by saying it's just not happening up front.
No, and it's purely down to the pressure Ballyboden are putting across the field. You know, they get to the 45-metre line and then it's pressure on the ball. They're not giving Judes an opportunity to find inside. And even there, when McManaman flicks the ball up, two Bowden players converge on Sheehy. By the time he tries to get a shot his way, he fears he's going to be blocked, pulls back on it, and the ball dribbles into the goalkeeper. You know, from a first half, I don't think Ballyboden could have asked for more, apart from maybe that second goal chance that created that was saved so well by Brendan Flynn in the Judes goal. But you know, this could be game over. That goal had gone in at that stage. It was 13 points to 3. It'll be hard to see a route back for Judes. Yes, they can get goals, but just the intensity, the physicality, and how Bowden are set up, Judes just haven't got the grips of it all in that opening 30-31 minutes.
Well, let's have a look at the highlights of the first half. This makes far better viewing for those from Fairhouse than it does Templeogue.
Yeah, great opening again, just pushing fellas into space. James Holland, you know, he started centre back, but it was the furthest man forward in a lot of their opening moves. You can see him in the shot there a couple of times. Opening score came from him. Then the ball is, you know, popped back out to Luke O'Donoghue, who adds to the scoreboard. And then Ryan O'Dwyer inside, you know, takes time on the ball, backs himself, knocks one over the bar. And then we mentioned Alex Gavin. They haven't got to grips with his runs from that side of the field. You know, it's been a tough ask on Derek Kavanagh. But, you know, maybe that's for Judes management to turn things around and ask for something different to happen. And then the resulting kick out here turns into a goal opportunity. You know, Pascal pops it back. Macaulay, great pass through to Colin Pascal. You're thinking that's going to hit the net. It doesn't. They miss it. But with the very next play, look who's running through the middle. Gavin again. This time he decides to up the ball across. Steps inside. Ryan O'Dwyer, great finish. And at that stage, 12 minutes on the clock, it's 1-4. I know they were 1-3 to no score behind against Coola, but this is a different proposition what Ballyboden are bringing to them. They opened up the scoring through Dara Rooney and then got a second. You know, a couple of minutes later, Colin Murphy passed it on to Spillane, who's probably been the brightest forward from a Jude's perspective in the opening half. 1-4-2 after a quarter hour. But again, just Bowden up the ante again. Ryan O'Dwyer cuts inside. It's so direct, the movement, that it makes it very hard to defend. 1-5-2. And then Colin Pascal manages to get his first score. Brilliant defending. Warren Egan who gets the hand in, and it's Bobbitt who comes out with the ball. So look where this starts, at the far end of the field. It all comes from the hard work. Ends up going to Ryan Pascal. If the pass comes in rather than out, maybe there's a goal chance. Pascal decides to fist it over the bar. 1-6-2 at that stage. There was a response, came from Kevin McManaman. Look at the space. If you let the ball in, this is what he's able to do. He doesn't need to take fellas on. He's able to kick scores with them looking at him. Their third score. But again, a Bowden response, this time from the free from Ryan Pascal. 1-7-3, 22 minutes on the clock. And then another goal chance, charging through Colin Pascal. I think McGarry should give it back to him with Kevin Lahif cutting across him. You can't criticise him for taking on the shot, but a great save from Flynn. And the result of that was a free from Dara Rooney to make it 1-7-4. And then a couple of more scores. Colin Pascal, brilliant, comes back onto his left. Kevin Lahif trying to get a block on him, just not stretching far enough. And then Pat Spillane has to back himself. He's outside 45 when he takes this on. Bobbitt is with him all the way. Just checks, throws a shoulder, slings it over the bar. You're thinking there might be another response coming. And then the guy we've been speaking about, Gavin, pops the ball back. Look at Shane Clayton's pass here. There's nothing on from a defensive point of view. Kavanagh has to win that. He has to back himself to go for it. He actually takes a step back. You just wonder, could he have gone for the goal, which maybe would have, you know, been a death nail into the coffin there. You can see the dejection of the Judes players chasing back. But what a first half from Ballyboden. What a first half from Alex Gavin. outstanding.
Well, St Jude's need a big second half for Ballyboden. It's a case of keep doing what you're doing. They lead 1-9 to 5 points at the break in the second of the go-ahead Senior 1 Football Championship semi-finals here in Dublin this weekend. Kilmacud Crokes and Raheny had quite the dramatic encounter yesterday. You can watch it back on the Dublin GA/Dubs TV YouTube channel. You can also get the best bits of it on the Dublin GA social media channels. Don't forget, next Sunday it is the turn of the Senior 1 Hurling Championship. We've got the two semi-finals live here on Dubs TV. St Vincent's take on Ballyboden, St Endas at 2 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, Lucan meet Nafina. On Friday night, by the way, it is the Camogie final. St Jude's meeting St Vincent's. Also, don't forget, you could win some much-needed cash for your club. The Go-Ahead Dublin Club Awards are happening over the next wee while, and you can check out the detail on the Dublin GA website. Go there, you'll find out how you can enter and how you can win prizes for your club. That is the Go Ahead Dublin GA Club Awards. We'll take a little bit of a break. Ballyboden St Endas leading here at the break in the second of the semi-finals. 1-9 plays 5 points. We will have the second half shortly here on Dubs TV, so don't go anywhere.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the devs, I invited Kieran to my devs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin. But it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough spoken words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. And we're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
Our roots are set in the GAA.
Ground Force probably is the absolute heart of this club, both in their ethos, the amount of work they do, and just the pure love they have for Naomh Marnoga and the GAA in general. In simplest terms, we probably couldn't function without Ground Force.
I suppose the GAA was always a bit more than hitting the ball or hitting the schlitter, you know, and it gave a great sense of community to people.
I suppose at my age, fear of retirement, worried about the unknown, what am I going into a home under my wife's feet all the time or something like that, and then we just got this men's initiative started off. We feel that we're giving something back to the club that gave so much to us. We come up here on a rotary basis and line pitches, cut grass. It kind of empowers us as well if we feel valued.
We're all friends, we're all retired, we're all around the same age group. Some of us have nothing outside of our work, and Ground Force has been a big change for everybody from a mental well-being point of view. It's really, really important and really significant, and there is great camaraderie amongst the group.
So I think there's about 30 odd men in this initiative that comes up to the club and has a chat, and the coffee is important as well. We sort out the world, Dad.
Yeah. Or well, most of it.
Yeah.
That's what it means to me, just achievement and pride.
My first memory of GAA would probably have been in Croke Park with my father. That would be in the early 1950s.
As a young lad brought down to watch one of my brother's matches.
Playing under 10 hurling, and I say hurling not camogie because I played on the boys team.
My feeling about the GAA was more a social one than a games one, because I thought it was a great way for all the kids to get to know each other.
Mum and Dad always brought us up to have each other's backs. We'd all go to each other's matches. No matter what we were doing or playing, we'd all support each other. I'm playing for the club 37 years I think now, but I also coached my 2 daughters' teams.
It's great. It really is a great feeling to have the kids down there. And now all of their friends are beginning to come from the same community and the same focus on the club, so it's a mirror of what happened to me in my childhood, I suppose.
We made more friends down the years and had more fun down the years than ever we would anywhere else.
Mum fostered that through us as well. She was chief bottle washer. She'd have jerseys upon jerseys out in the line.
3 of my offspring are married, and they met their better halves through the club.
The friends and relationships I got out of it. Looking back, that was really what the GAA was about. Community, about building relationships with people. My name is Mick Galvin.
My name is Mary Galvin.
My name is Phil Galvin, and my family roots are in St Bridget's GAA Club.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Devs, I invited Kieran to my Devs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin, but it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough to put in words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. And we're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
our roots are set in the GAA.
We're ready to go for the second half of this go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final. And Coleman, you said a change was possibly needed. St Jude's have done that. John Carty is in and he's picking up Alex Gavin, who ran the show for St Jude's, or for Ballyboden in the first half. Also in for St Jude's is Danny Sutcliffe, more known as a hurler, but a very, very decent footballer. Played in a New York team that were unlucky not to win a Connacht Championship match a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they had to make a couple of changes. That they were being destroyed on this left side, particularly with Gavin on his runs there. So there's an ask here, 2 jobs. You know, negate the impact that he's having on the game, and then obviously get yourself involved from an attacking point of view. Danny Sutcliffe on the other side will be looking to get on ball and drive forward. You know, Judes have to open with a good 10 minutes here. They have to narrow the gap, not allow Bowden build.
Well, Judes had a horrific start to the game, as they did in the quarter-final. They got away with it then. They cannot afford a slow start to the second half. But that is Cian Darcy, who's down for Ballyboden, so he will receive some treatment.
Yeah, great fetch, great win in the middle of the field. You know, nice to secure possession again. What Ballyboden have done very well, and maybe you can't see it full on the screen, is they're creating this gap between the inside line, which is either Ross McGarry, Ryan O'Dwyer, or one of the Pascals, and they're leaving a big space in front of the D. So while Judes like to generally filter back there and block up the space, because the other players are drifting out the field, they can't afford to sit back because of the space that they're then giving the forwards in front of them. So it's really clever what Bowden are trying to do to create space. Plus they have that added pace that they're bringing into Judes all the time that Judes just haven't got to grips with just yet.
Well, let's hope Cian Darcy's okay. They have a strong bench, but you don't want to take it for granted that you can bring them off and you'll be okay, even when you have this big a cushion. 12 points, plays 5 when you make the conversion. Out in front was Ross McGarry, batted it back to Flaherty. Darcy's carrying that leg. I don't think he's going to last much longer today. James Holland coming forward. Holland picking out the pass, continues his run, doesn't get it back. That's because it goes to McGarry. Here's Michael Dara McCauley. Dispossessed, good hand in there from Liam Connerton. Falls, and it's picked up bravely by Lehif. And Danny Sutcliffe is brought down there by Flaherty. We might see a card now.
Yeah, hand was high, although I don't think he did as much damage as he potentially could have done. He definitely left a high hand in, resulting in a yellow card certainly for him. Michael Dara McCauley just caught on the hop a little bit with the ball. The defender came behind to win it back off him. Great defending by Judes then. They crowded around him. Yellow card, Flaherty.
McCartan. Kieran Fitzpatrick. Oisin Manning. Manning. Fumbled. Regathers, must to his credit. McGarry is on top of him though. Flaherty is down, so play will have to stop.
Yeah, I think he might have just got caught with a knee in the head as he bent to try and win the ball off Manning at that time. Accidental, but he probably got a knock to the head, and that's why Dave Feeney has blown the whistle to get some attention. But it just, across the field, it really looks like Ballyboden have backed themselves man on man to say, we're going to challenge each and every one of you through our own individual battles here. If we come out on top of them, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win the game. Yes, they had an extra player back in front of their full forward line at times, or the Jude's full forward line at times. But ultimately they said, let's go man on man here and see if you're good enough to take us on or to beat us. And at the moment it's Ballyboden who are winning all those battles.
Flaherty on his knees at the moment, so it's good to see that he's up and he's okay. And in fact, his recovery was so good, he was able to have a word with the referee. Here's Lehif. Sutcliffe is outside. That's the option he goes with. Sutcliffe. Lehif continues to run. Sutcliffe into contact, recycles to Spillane. Lehif. Fitzpatrick. Hassett. Kevin McManaman. Lehif. McManaman. Couple of runners there for McManaman if he wants to try and hit them. Nope, carries it on himself, and why not? I love the way he was able to just slow down play there. Here's Dara Rooney, and that is a wide.
Yeah, I think Dara Rooney took a shot there on the basis that he thought there was an advantage coming Kevin McManaman's way. I think McManaman slowed down then, seeking the advantage. So probably should have blown the whistle, Dave Feeney, and given McManaman or someone a chance to replace ball. Instead, Rooney puts it wide. Second of the afternoon.
Kennedy. Out from Gogan. Kieran Kennedy. Michael Dara McCauley. Kevin Mack left in his wake. Michael Dara McCauley still going. Still Michael Dara McCauley. Good run. Does it end with the score for Ballyboden? No, it doesn't. That's wide.
Yeah, great run from Michael Dara McCauley. Forced defenders to come to meet him, then was able to pop it off to McGarry, but pulls it wide. Badly wide. 5 minutes on the clock. No score either side. Suit Ballyboden down to the ground, and that the gap is still the same as it was at half time.
In fairness to Kevin McManaman, who was, as I say, left in his wake, that's not the role you want him doing from the Jude's point of view. Get him up top, get him running at defences. But in fairness to him, he's working back. He's trying to keep his team in this. Here's Clayton. Flaherty. Holland's in the middle. Flaherty hangs on to it. Clayton. Manning trying to put the tackle in. Rooney coming in as well. Gavin. Cian Darcy. He's over that leg injury. Cian Darcy. Still Cian Darcy. Gavin. He's popping up again. It breaks for Michael Dara McCauley, who just couldn't pick it up on the run. Hasn't given up on it. And attacked out by St. Jude's. But Darcy tries to win it back. It's a foul and a free out.
Yeah, I think there's an injury here that'll probably need to be stopped up. Just as the ball broke there, great tackle to win the ball back from a Jude's perspective, but I think as the ball broke there, he just took a knock to the side of his head. Might have caused him a bit of a problem. Yeah, great work. Yeah, I think it was Lahif coming across him. Just, he was unlucky, ran into his shoulder more so than anything else. But better defended from Judes. They shut down the space. They were able to win the ball back. Alex Gavin again, who was driving into the space there. Bowden want to see him back on his feet, the impact he's had in the opening 30-35 minutes.
They go shortish to Lahif. McCartan had Spillane as an option, but just carried it on. Lahif. Lahif with the crossfielder. It's a good one as well to Hassett. Hassett running into the space. Space a rarity for St. Jude's in the Ballyboden half. Still Hassett. Still Hassett. Hassett still going. Hassett, they need a goal. Hassett! Hassett settled for the point. It would have been the goal of the season. But it's not a bad point.
Well, if any score is ever going to give you a lift, that's the run for it. All the defenders were waiting to see what forward was going to come and take it. No one backed Hassett to keep driving through. Unlucky not to get a goal out of it, but brilliant score, an inspirational score. This is the score that gives them a lift.
Can that spark St. Jude's? Gavin. St. Jude's first score since the 28th minute. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy tried to pick out his man inside. That was Ryan O'Dwyer. 1-2 in the game so far. Nothing in the second half. Pat Spillane. Pat Spillane trying to get away from Holland. Spillane at pace. Inside is Liam Connarton. It's still Spillane. Spillane driving on. Connarton in space. Connarton, Judes need a goal. Still Connarton. Connarton still with it. He has to pull the trigger. Connarton, they got back. They blocked it. They smothered him. It was Gavin, who has been excellent so far. Connarton tries to win it back and does. He's got Kevin McManaman with him. Connarton at a tight angle. Connarton runs out of room. But it was actually kept in play. That's really fine defending by Ballyboden St. Endas.
Oh, what an opportunity for Connarton there. Great run, driving through. Holland wasn't able to get to grips with Spillane. When the ball came across to him, Clayton did well to drop. The goalkeeper came out of him as well. Gogan, both put him under pressure. So unlucky from a Jews perspective. Good run of play for them. Can they get those couple of scores to narrow the gap? Start asking questions of Ballyboden.
Well, that would have made it a 3-point game with lots of time to go. So they've had a couple of goal chances. Holland back from Darcy. Holland goes to ground free in. Well, let's have a look at that goal chance.
Yeah, look at the pace again. We've seen in the first half the run. Holland is trying to stick with him. Almost lost his feet, but the cut across here, brilliant from Spillane. Creates a little bit of space, keeps driving forward. Defender comes across, brilliant work from Clayton. He committed to the block, put pressure on Connarton, and then there was enough bodies to get a stop on it. Connarton did well again to win it back, but enough defenders back there to turn it over again for Bowden.
Alan Connolly, who does provide a goal threat, is in for St. Jude's. I think he is replacing Connarton. Here's Cian Darcy. Darcy just kind of wedged it wide.
Yeah, brilliant pressure from Hassett. Much better from Judes. They're not allowing them to get settled on the ball. Colin Pascal popped it through to Darcy, but the pressure came from Hassett. Not only can he kick scores one end, he's doing enough defending the far end to keep Judes alive here.
Fitzpatrick. McCartan. Fitzpatrick. Lahif in plenty of space on this near side as we look. Here is Lahif. Pat Spillane inside. Finds Rooney. Rooney spinning. Rooney shooting. Rooney! Oh, really well handled by Gogan. Had to be sure. Knew if he just batted it out that it would come to Clayton. Solid goalkeeping, solid defending.
Yeah, and had seen the defender in his eye line too, so knew that the pat out was sufficient. Great pressure here from Judes. Oh, they were lucky. Tom Lahif looked like they had done enough to maybe win a ball back. Lahif and Murphy. Great spin here from Rooney, buys himself a little bit of space. Hangs in the air. He spotted the defender in his eye line, knows it's enough to pat it out, does well. Gogan. Clayton cleans it up from
Pascal. Ryan Pasquale gives to Colin Pasquale. Bob, it went short. Michael Dara McCauley. A good foot pass from Michael Dara McCauley. Alex Gavin is wrapped up there by John Carty. It's a free in. And Carty goes to ground. He'll have to get up quickly. Michael Dara McCauley. Oh, it just slips through the fingers of Colin Basquel. He was unlucky. Now Jude's on the counter-attack. That's fumbled. And it's won back. It's brilliant work from Kieran Kennedy. Warren Egan. Michael Dara McCauley is calling for it. Goes instead to McGarry. McGarry trying to bring it out to a kinder angle. Gives it to Ryan Basquel. Ryan Basquel to Michael Dara McCauley, who's running at Hassett. Michael Dara McCauley. It's a free out.
They couldn't miss in the opening 30 minutes. They're 10 plus minutes without a score in the second half. The pace, the fluidity that was with Bowden in the opening half, just missing in these opening 10 minutes. You expected Judes to come in response. They had to be better than what they were in the opening half. They're certainly bringing that now. They're asking those more questions of Ballyboden on the ball. They're putting more pressure on the attacker driving through. You know, they've only got one score to show for it, but there was a goal chance left behind too. But better from Judes in the opening 10 minutes, and Bowden struggling to rekindle the spark that they had in that opening half.
Just one score so far in this half. That's come from St. Jude's. I imagine if you told the Jude's management team that Bowden wouldn't score for the first 13 minutes of the second half, they'd be happy enough. Flynn picks out McCartan. Lehif, who's taken the fight to Ballyboden all day. Danny Sutcliffe finds Colin Murphy. Colin Murphy with the big high lofted ball. Going after that one is John Carty. And Carty, much to his credit, gets it under control. But then Alex Gavin intercepted. The pass was intended to go to Paddy O'Loughlin. Bobbitt keeping his composure. And Bobbitt does really well. Brian Bobbitt trying to get away from Connolly. And he overcarried it to free in.
Yeah, he did so well initially there to retain the possession and then ran himself into trouble. Probably should have spun back to hand pass it back the way. Did so well here to get himself out of difficulty, but then there's passes here, there's easier options. Jeez, he unlucky, I think. Dave Feeney was maybe a bit harsh on the steps there.
Rooney will strike this one. Got the height, doesn't have the accuracy. Might drop, you know, it does. And Gogan is there again. Clawing it towards goal was Connolly, but no one else reacted. Except for Dara Gogan, who got off his line very, very brightly.
Yeah, a couple of scores that have dropped short. The one into the goalie's hands that were saved or pushed out. A second one there. Goal opportunity. The gap could be so much narrower than it is. So, you know, Bowman out playing very well in the second half. Thankful that Judes aren't shooting the same way up front.
James Holland, back to Shane Clayton. Clayton still going. Clayton loses it under pressure. And that's Danny Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe looking for Pat Spillane. There's plenty of space for Spillane. John Carty is up. Joining them in attack is Alan Connolly. Spillane taking it on. Spillane, will he go for goal? He does. It's a good save by Gogan.
Great stop from Dara Gogan, but comes from a Shane Clayton overplaying the ball in the middle of the field against Spillane. He's on right foot, stops, slows it down, goes left. Gogan does brilliant to put it around the post. 2 goal chances left behind now by Judes. You know, the fluidity I mentioned that Bowden had in the opening half, just non-existent now second half. They haven't come out of the dressing rooms. Obviously we're in a great position going in, but Judes, if they were a little bit more clinical up front, the gap would be narrowed. They could almost be in front if the couple of goal chances had landed.
At present, it's looking like a Kilmacud Crokes Ballyboden St. Endas final. Again, not sure what the broadcast plans are for that. I imagine if it's on a Saturday, RTE will want it. If it's on a Sunday, TG Cahir will want it. You wouldn't blame them for that. If for whatever reason neither take it, we will have it live and for free on Dubs TV. Flynn, cool as you like, but wide. Don't forget, next Sunday we've got a Senior 1 semi-final double bill. St. Vincent's take on Ballyboden at 2. At 4, Lucan against Nafina. Both matches live and free on Dubs TV. On Friday night, St. Jude's up against St. Vincent's. That's in the Senior 1 Camogie final. And going off is Brian Bobbitt on the Ballyboden side. Judes looking to win the possession. Falls kindly here for Rooney, but somehow Gavin got in there and stole it. And Lehif and Gavin have a little coming together off the ball. We will play on. Advantage is being played at the moment. It's Ballyboden's advantage. Michael Dara McCauley trying to roll it down the line into the path of Paddy Dunleavy. Paddy Dunleavy dispossessed by Danny Sutcliffe, and advantage was over Lehif. Gave it off to Tom Lehif, the two Lehifs combining. John Carty. Colin Murphy. Kevin Lehif. Kevin Lehif outside. Kevin McManaman. Kevin Mack at pace. Kevin Mack didn't catch it right, I think it's fair to say. His work rate is very impressive, Kevin McManaman.
Yeah, Judes are, so unlucky. So much they're doing right in this second half. They've totally dominated the ball for 17, 18 minutes. They've only one score to show for it. They've 2 goal chances they've left behind. There's a couple have dropped short, a couple have gone wide. I think Dave Feeney's going to have a word here. In fairness to Alex Gavin, he drove hard into the breaking ball, picked it up off Dara Rooney, and then I think it was probably late from Kevin Lehif coming in behind it. So probably a yellow card going to come Kevin Lehif's way here.
A yellow, that is correct. St. Jude's will be so disappointed if their season ends here in Senior 1 football. Anyway, they're still involved in the Senior 2 hurling, trying to get back up into Senior 8, Senior 1. Here's Holland. Basquel comes out to meet it and takes it. Good turn. Basquel. McGarry. Gavin. Warren Egan gets Ballyboden's first score of the second half, and it was worth the wait. A good point by Warren Egan.
Yeah, and an important score. They've struggled really to get into the game. They've had some possessions but turned them over. Great score from Warren Egan. 19 minutes into the second half. Given the first half performance, hard to believe that was going to happen. Egan underneath it wins it back.
And here's Cian Darcy. Darcy. Basquel. Colin Basquel after Ross McGarry. Ross McGarry under pressure gets the ball away. Paddy Dunleavy continues his run. Ryan O'Dwyer back inside to Michael Dara McCauley. Michael Dara McCauley, who's a bundle of energy, miscues it, and Dara Rooney pounces. Here's Pat Spillane, carries rather than goes long into the path of John Carty. John Carty looking up to see what the options are. Carty goes inside to Rooney. Rooney trying to turn Shane Clayton, and Clayton takes one for the team there. Now could we be going into black card territory because he brought him to ground and he went to ground as well.
Yeah, I think there's probably black card coming Shane Clayton's way. The little spin Dara Rooney does just buys him that little bit of space. Clayton realises he's under a bit of pressure and has to get hands on. Just wondering if the hands actually wrapped around him. Maybe not. Looks like it'll be a yellow card.
We took a gamble there though, didn't he? When you go to ground with the man you bring down, you're getting into the black card territory. Whether or not you get one or not is another story.
Yeah, he did have hands around the waist. Dave Feeney deemed it was probably more a pull than anything else. Rooney knocks it over, the resultant free.
A third point for Dara Rooney, all from frees. But they need more than the occasional score, St. Jude's. One of those games that goes down as relatively low scoring but quite exciting. Not really played in what you call winter conditions. A nice day here in Parnell Park. The sod is good, the temperature's warm. That's a foul on Kieran Kennedy.
Yeah, great hit from Cormac McCartan. Probably unlucky there. Kennedy tried to drive through the gap.
Ross McGarry. McGarry. Good ball, nice take by Ryan O'Dwyer. Ryan O'Dwyer has support coming there from his teammates. Ryan O'Dwyer's shot is smothered. Falls into the path of Paddy O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin to Lehif. Oisin Manning. Well taken, presented by Simon King to Lehif, who goes down the line to Kevin McManaman. Lehif drifting in behind with Simon King, but he was covered. Lahif still going. Kevin McManaman measuring, shooting, and scoring. Good point for Kevin McManaman.
And heavily involved in the move as well. Kevin McManaman was involved and passed the ball out, went back and received it, settled himself before kicking it over the bar. 2 on the spin for Judes. You know, they probably need a goal at this stage. 8 minutes left to play plus injury time. Is there enough coming their way in terms of points from play? I'm not so sure. So,
well, the thing with Judes, they haven't scored a whole pile, but they have been creating the chances. They might get another one here. Kevin Lahif intercepting the kick out. Drifting in behind was John Carty. Carty trying to get away from his man. That was Darren O'Reilly who's just in. It's still there. Here's Rooney. Rooney, is he fouled? Referee says no. Back it goes to Oisin Manning. Oisin Manning finds Kevin McManaman. Kevin McManaman tees it up and gets his 2nd point in a row.
another great score from Kevin McManaman. It's all coming to pressure on the kick out. We mentioned that Ballyboden had backed themselves in the first half. They're struggling now to get out. Pressure on the kick out. Jude's totally grown into the game. Bowden really struggling to find a foothold. That fluidity, the movement that was so evident in the first half, totally absent, and it's all Jude's at the minute.
And for the first time in the match, St Jude's have scored 3 points without reply. But Ballyboden looking to stop that rot now. Here's Ross McGarry down the line to Basquel. It's Colin Basquel. Colin Basquel, he's got half of Templeogue around him, so he has to turn and get it back out to his brother, Ryan Basquel. That's a really well executed score. Ryan's first from play.
Yeah, and because the gap has been there, it's just given that little bit of breathing room that as Judes are narrowing, they're still 4 points to the good. Now back out to 5. You know, the goal chances they've created that they've left behind, they've totally dominated second half. So much better performance, so much more pressure on Ballyboden. You know, Ballyboden certainly dropped off from their first half performance, but you know, Judes still have opportunity here.
Judes needs a possession, breaks kindly for Ballyboden. And then it's won back by Judes. Danny Sutcliffe, Pat Spillane, Flaherty stuck to him. Pat Spillane, little goose step. Pat Spillane still. Spillane, it was a wrist that didn't work out. And it's a free out. John Carty fouled his man, and his man was James Holland.
Yeah, he was looking for a pass over the top that wasn't really on.
Michael MacDonald moved it on. Warren Egan. Back it goes into path of Paddy Dunleavy. Paddy Dunleavy for Ross McGarry. Ross McGarry through the gap. Ross McGarry, free out, overcarried.
Yeah, it's amazing that the decisions that Ballyboden are making in the second half, they didn't have to make decisions. Well, they made decisions, just the right ones in the first half. But so many times they're running into contact, overrunning the ball and just handing it back to Judes.
Kevin McManaman goes to ground. It is a free in. That's 3 times now that Ballyboden have been done for overcarrying.
Yeah, Rooney probably needs to move it quick. You know, another score on the board still leaves 4 between them. You know, the clock is against them. The gap is still there. Ball moved.
That's spilled by Lahif, but it falls kindly for Rooney. Out by Kevin Mack, finds Oisin Manning. That's a miscue, and it's Warren Egan. Warren Egan getting in the way of it. Lahif looks behind and uses his soccer skills. Well, we had 2 points in the first 20 minutes of the second half, 1 point apiece. Then we had 4 points in 4 minutes. This game is exciting as it moves towards the finish. Pat Spillane takes it. It was knocked out of his hands, but it fell kindly for St Jude's. But Kieran Kennedy didn't give up on that and secured possession. Clayton then gave it off to Michael MacDonald. It's like a destruction derby out there, but Alex Gavin steals away, gives it to Shane Clayton, who looks up, steaming through the middle is James Holland. He went to ground, but there was plenty of options there for Ballyboden. Now it's Alex Gavin. A goal will surely finish it. Gavin is tripped. That has to be a penalty, and it is.
Yeah, Jude so far pushed forward on the counter, turned over the ball in the far corner, just weren't set up defensively. Gavin finds a bit of space. He's been running all day, so nothing was going to stop him apart from attacker. Was he inside or outside? He certainly made it inside. I'd say Oisin Manning made the contact. You know, on the line, if maybe not inside the line. Referee sticks with his decision. It's a penalty for Ballyboden. And while the game was in the mix, gives opportunity for Boden now to clinch it for sure from the penalty spot. Great pressure from Judes. They've really upped the ante second half. 25 minutes. They've created enough chances. They've left a couple of goal chances behind them. Just on the breakout ball there, they weren't able to get enough bodies behind the ball. Alex Gavin drives into space. Manning takes him to ground. The penalty's given. Chance for Basquel to seal the deal for Bowden.
Dara Sweeney is in for Ballyboden. Ryan Basquel up against Benny Flynn. Still receiving treatment is Kieran Fitzpatrick for St. Jude, so you can't take it until that's done. It's never ideal when you're taking a penalty to have a delay. I'm sure Ryan Basquel can handle it with his experience and talent and skill. And I think that's the end of the game for Kieran Fitzpatrick. He is being taken off. Whether or not that's a blood sub or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think there's probably a coming together in the middle of the field there as Bowden were trying to break out, so maybe he just got caught.
Ryan Basquel places the ball. Basquel to seal it for Ballyboden. Kilmacud Crokes awaiting the final. Are they just about to find out who they will face? Basquel, good goal. Keeper was unlucky, it went under his body, but it's looking very, very good for Ballyboden now.
Yeah, I think the road is too long back now for Judes. They've been so good second half, but that goal seals the deal. Unlucky, the ball just dropped under his body. Couldn't get down quick enough to it. It was so tight to him. Great finish, and while they've struggled second half, they've only got 3 scores. One of those is that crucial penalty goal, and probably enough to see them into the final now.
St. Jude's have missed chances, and I think they will have been made, or well, they have been made to regret it. Coming forward is Michael MacDonald. Ballyboden look to finish with the flourish. Warren Egan, still Warren Egan. Warren Egan still full of running. Might break here, does break here. Dara Sweeney on his knees, back to MacDonald. MacDonald guides it over with that trusty left peg.
Yeah, well, all the work there was probably done on the ground by Dara Sweeney. Won the ball in contact, spun out, gave a hand pass back, and a great score to just add the icing on the cake from Michael MacDonald.
And it's a pity for the likes of Kevin McManaman, who's given so much to Dublin and St. Jude's, and he played well today. Worked incredibly hard to keep his team in it, but Ballyboden look like they're on their way to the final, and the long wait for St. Jude's continues, and it breaks again for Ballyboden and again for Alex Gavin. We're not picking a player of the match today, but I imagine if we were, he would be it.
Yeah, outstanding. I mean, they haven't come to grips with him at all. They made some changes at half-time, and while Judes were much better in the second half, and he wasn't as influential when they needed someone to come into the breach for them and find a gap, he was the man, and again gets underneath so many breaking balls, puts his body on the line every time. Really strong performance, but across the board, you know, the tone was set in the first half. While Judes have been brilliant second half, they'll regret that they just couldn't get going in the first half.
And for Ballyboden, it's nearly an ideal way to go to the final. They have stuff to work on. It was not the perfect performance here.
Not by any means. That, like, second half has been very poor. They've really struggled and allowed Judes to gain momentum. Now, Judes, credit to them, they're good enough to do that. They just didn't get going in the first half, and that gap that Ballyboden had built up meant that every time a scoring opportunity was missed, Ballyboden just had that gap all the time, and the clock was eaten into what Judes were able to do. That penalty obviously seals the deal, but you know, Judes can count themselves unlucky in some regards. I don't think you can show up in a county semi-final and expect 30 minutes to be good enough to get you there, albeit that Ballyboden maybe only have 35 or 38 minutes in their performance.
Same as Kilmacud Crokes, not a perfect performance, but they are there. Ballyboden there as well, unless we get a miracle finish from St. Jude's. St. Jude's watching on as Egan comes through. Egan! What a goal! He waltzed through and buried it, and Ballyboden put the cherry on top.
Yeah, probably not the fairest reflection on the scoreboard, but Warren Egan, so powerful that very hard to stop when he goes on those driving runs. Cut across the defender, which meant it was near impossible to put a stop on it. Dave Feeney is heading to the sideline to have a chat with the linesman. Maybe it's just to see what the time is left rather than anything else. Brilliant finish from Warren Egan. Now, while they've struggled, one score in whatever 20 minutes it probably was, you know, the last 7 or 8 minutes they regained their composure, and while Judes will rue those couple of missed goal scoring opportunities, probably a fair reflection in terms of Ballyboden being good enough to move into the Dublin Senior Championship final.
Well, the slow start caught St. Jude's today. They got away with it in the quarter-final, but Ballyboden a different proposition, and while they had the chances, they didn't take them. Here's Hassett, Danny Sutcliffe moves it out to Kevin McManaman. Kevin McManaman puts it in on top of Rooney. It's well defended, and Ballyboden collect the break through Luke O'Donoghue, and now it's James Holland. McDonald running onto it there was Paddy Dunleavy. Holland, another one who'd be in contention for the Player of the Match award. and Ballyboden get the free.
Yeah, great pace out. As soon as the ball dropped there was 4 on the counter-attack looking to get the ball out and get it freed up. Judes did well to put a stop on it, but you know, at this stage it doesn't really matter. Ballyboden can hold on to the ball, Judes can cut a press, but you know, the result was sealed with Ryan Basquel's penalty.
Gogan, Ryan Basquel, Clayton, who has kept those gloves hanging out of the shorts throughout the match. I don't know how players do that. I could never master that skill. They just kept falling out. Granted, you could argue, Coleman, I wasn't playing at as intense a level.
I wonder what the gloves were doing in there.
Yeah.
You must be doing a bit of gardening.
I just thought it might get cold. Darren O'Reilly looking to see what's on. Pat Spillane jinxing this way and that. It opens up a bit for St. Jude's. Chris Guckian, the former Dublin footballer, moves it in to Tom Lahiff. Could be a goal on here, but Gogan denies them. The shot coming from Simon King, but Gogan said no.
Yeah, again, who's in the breach there? Alex Gavin is back on the line as well. Guckian finds a pass across. Simon King is left inside unmarked. He turns onto his right. Gavin and Gogan between them. It's probably Gogan who gets hands on it, but great defending again. Well, 52 minutes on the clock. It was a 4-point game, 1-10-9, and all of a sudden the gap is out to 21 points to 9. It's remarkable how the game can turn on, you know, small incidents. With those couple of missed chances from Judes.
They're still trying to work something. Pat Spillane tacked away. Anywhere will do, and Ballyboden get a hold of the football and run it out. MacDonald got that good score a couple of minutes ago. Basquel moving at pace. Look at that speed. Colin Basquel trying to get away from John Carty. It's still Colin Basquel. There's no one inside, so he has to do it all himself. He tries to get close to the goal. Colin Basquel still going. Colin Basquel into the corner. MacDonald is there to lend some assistance, and Ballyboden get the free in.
Yeah, great work from Colin Basquel. Lifts the siege, brings it all the way down the other end of the field, and while the free is irrelevant, or whether they score it or not, you know, we heard you mentioned it in the first half, that work that they were shouting from the sideline in terms of Boden. The work rate has come back to them in the last maybe 7 to 10 minutes. And while the scoreline probably doesn't reflect how the second half played out, certainly Ballyboden's dominance was all for all to see in the opening half.
Basquel, over it goes.
Been quite enough in a couple of scores in play in the opening half. Only his first score of the second half. Flex maybe that Boden just lost away a little bit, but they could afford to lose their way given that how excellent their first half was.
Well, either way it was going to be a heavyweight final, but because Ballyboden have won it in more recent years, whereas St. Jude's are still looking for that first title, I guess it just adds to it. Can Ballyboden climb back on top in Dublin? They have applauded Kilmacud Crokes in their success in the last couple of years, but at the same time they've been building, they've been planning, they've been plotting. Can that plan and plot come together on county final day in a couple of weeks' time? We will find out. It's Ballyboden St. Endas against Kilmacud Crokes. Two recent and regular winners of the AIB Leinster Club Championship and of course the All-Ireland. Ballyboden get the free out.
Yeah, I think, you know, Ryan Basquel probably fancied a little bit of that. He had got away from the trouble and then ducked himself back into it. Said, come and take the ball off me if you think you can. Probably no need for him to go back into it, but enough done at this stage, and Judes just hoping for the clock and the whistle to end the defeat for them in another Dublin semi-final, which is unfortunate for them.
Gavin Flaherty. None of these players will still be involved in the hurling, but for football it is over. Ballyboden St. Endas reach the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 football final, where they will play their old rivals Kilmacud Crokes. The final score of the semi-final, Ballyboden St. Endas 3-13, St. Jude's 9 points. Coleman.
Yeah, look, I mean, they were brilliant in the first half. 1-9 they hit, they were fluid throughout everything that they did, but that second half they just struggled to get going, probably partially down to, you know, them thinking maybe the game was won at half-time, but also with Judes coming with a different attitude into the second half. They really drove at them. They created a couple of goal-scoring opportunities, didn't manage to get any one of those. And while it was only a 4-point game, you know, with 52 minutes on the clock, Bowden just coasted home from there, particularly after winning the penalty. So while they only got 6 scores in the second half, 2 of those were big goal scores, big goals. And it ultimately puts them back to where they wanted to be, which was the Dublin Championship county final. Michael Darragh Macaulay would have spoke a couple of weeks ago about how they over the last number of years had big defeats in Dublin Championship, and they needed to correct that. They've now given themselves the opportunity to go and win a Dublin final, and while it's disappointment for Judes, I think the platform for the Boden win was laid in the first half. And while yes, they struggled second half, they had enough in the tank, enough of a gap there to see them over the line. Really solid first half, work to do second half. But as you mentioned, Kilmacud Crokes and themselves will probably be fighting now to go in as underdogs, given that both go into it having won their semi-finals.
I don't think Crokes can argue they're underdogs as they go into it as All-Ireland champions and 2 in a row champions. But Ballyboden, look, it's a 50-50 game, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, when you're looking at the groups and you're seeing how both of the clubs are performing, you're probably thinking that, you know, Ballyboden and Kilmacud Crokes aren't going to be far away when it comes into the mix. Certainly that's the way it's going to play out for it. And when you think of, you know, how Dublin football has gone over the last number of years, both of them being there is probably the 2 best clubs in Dublin to be in the championship final this year. Certainly it's a heavyweight final. It's, you know, 2 Southside clubs coming head to head. Who performed the better? Like, you know, Kilmacud got out of jail last night with a late goal, but then they go on and win the game through penalties. Ballyboden put on a first half display there that nearly makes them unbackable going into a final, and then they turn out a second half that maybe drags them back into the pack a little bit. Totally different in 2 weeks' time. I don't imagine it'll be as balmy or as warm an afternoon as we've had today. You go into the mix, you reset, you try and refocus, and you have a chance to win a Dublin Championship in 2 weeks' time. 60, 70 minutes of football if it ends after that.
Yeah,
you know, both will certainly fancy their chances around.
It's one of the more less serious sides of climate change. We just don't know what the weather would be. It could be like this again.
No.
It might be incredibly wintry. Right, before we talk more about the final, let's have a look at the highlights of the second half here. And scoring-wise, for the first 20 or so minutes of that second half, there weren't too many highlights to look at.
No, Judes were better defensively in the second half, and they worked so much harder than they maybe had in the opening half. Great run from Hassett, who was brilliant throughout the game, in fairness to him. Stuck at it, Alex, all the time. All the defenders reckoned he was going to look for a forward. He backed himself, knocked it over the bar. That was the first score, came 8 minutes into the second half. Then there was a gap of another 10 or 11 before we got a score. But there was a couple of goal chances in between. Pat Spillane burns off James Holland here, driving through, pops it across. Connaughton, brilliant defending by Clayton, enough pressure on him to make him come back onto his left side, enough Boden players around it to snuffle out the goal chance. Then a second opportunity, spins and plays, drops it short on top of the goalkeeper. It's pushed back out, easy enough. Won't call it a goal chance. This is probably the better chance. Spillane driving through, checks onto his left foot. Gogan does brilliant to get a block on it. They were all within the first quarter, 20 minutes of that opening half. Boden's first score, almost 20 minutes on the clock. Again, it's Alex Gavin driving forward, feeds it out to Egan, who pops it over. It's 1-10-6 at that stage. You're probably thinking that it's maybe game over for Judes, but they dug in, they stuck at it, won a free from Connaughton. We thought Shane Clayton might have seen a black card there, wasn't given, or from Dara Rooney. He knocks it over the bar, and then Kevin McMenamin, the old Darg for the hard road, left foot first of all, knocks it over the bar, narrows the gap once more, and then a couple of minutes later picks up the ball again on the other side of the field. Again, great work to shovel it across to him, this time on his right side, pops it over. The value of being 2-footed. 4-point game, there's 52 minutes on the clock. Boden come with a response. Colin Basquel shovels it out to his brother Ryan, who knocks it over. It's 1-11-9. So you're still thinking the game is in the melting pot. And then obviously the big score comes, a breakout move. Alex Gavin drives forward, just looking to see where the contact is. He's on the edge of the area. Dave Feeney reckons he's inside. Oisin Manning is trying to convince him otherwise. Ball drops under the goalkeeper. He does well, but it's so close to him. And at that stage, it's game over. And Boden seeing the game out from there. There had a couple of subs who come in and did well for them. Dara Sweeney won the ball on the ground, pops it back to Michael MacDonald to get a lovely score. And then, as you said yourself, the icing on the cake, works the ball inside. Warren Egan, look at the strength of him here. Kevin Lahiff is swinging out of him first of all. Then he takes on Chris Guckey and cuts across and buries it into the net. 3-12 at that stage, and obviously the game is over. There's a last chance of a goal popped into King, but enough bodies again back again, and Gogan a third save. Brilliant second half performance from him, and then wrapped up with a free from Colin Basquel. After all the hard work, he travelled down this left side to see out the game. But look, it was the penalty that I suppose was the defining score of the second half. Hard luck Judes, but certainly Ballyboden move into a final with some to work on, but a brilliant first half performance.
Well, St. Jude's got points in the 50th, 51st and 52nd minutes. That was 3 in a row, got them back into the game. It was 1-11-9 points, as you say, at that time. But since the 50th minute, or from the 50th minute on, Ballyboden took over. And in the period after the 50th minute, they won it 2-3 to 3 points. Ballyboden had 8 different scorers, St. Jude's only had 4. So that kind of outlines the difference between the two teams. Right, one last word on the upcoming final. What are you expecting? Ballyboden St Endas against Kilmacud Crokes.
Look, if the reigning All-Ireland champions going in against a team who arguably could push themselves towards All-Ireland title, given the talent that they have within their ranks. So within Dublin, you have 2 superpowers going head-to-head. The way Bowden set up in the first half was, they backed themselves, they put man on man, they really put a squeeze on Judes, and they had so much pace pushing forward that they were creating and punching holes all the time. And arguably game could have been over at half-time. They had a couple of goal chances themselves they left behind. Could have been 3-8 to 3 points, 4 points at half-time. That's not how it played out. Kilmacud, on the other hand, probably didn't put on their best performance last night. That's not being disrespectful for Raheny. Raheny came and pushed a lot of questions their way that Kilmacud Crokes finally found an answer to. So Crokes will probably go into the game thinking they've a huge amount of improvement to do. Bowden will be seeing their second half performance need improvement. But ultimately you have 2 teams who'll be looking to go at it. Very physical battle, a lot of pace on offer, and very difficult game for anyone to call. Really exciting from a Dublin perspective to see the 2 clubs going head to head, and a really difficult game to call, so it should be a cracker in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay, so the football is almost done. The Senior 1 and Senior 2 semi-finals played across the weekend. You can watch all 4 of them back on the Dublin GAA YouTube channel, better known as Dubs TV. You can also check out the highlights. You'll be able to find those on the Dublin GAA social media channels. We're back next Sunday with a double header from the Senior 1 semi-finals at 2 o'clock at St Vincent's against Ballyboden St Endas. At 4 o'clock, Lucan take on Nafina. On Friday night, it's the Camogie final, St Jude's taking on St Vincent's. And just before I let you go, remember you can win cash and prizes for your club in the Go Ahead Dublin GAA Club Awards. For full details, go to the Dublin GAA website, but there's some great prizes on offer there for your clubs. You can reward the volunteers, the people who make it happen for your club, not just the people who take to the pitch, but the people off it as well. Coleman, thank you very much. Remember, the final between Ballyboden and Kilmacud Crokes will be broadcast live. By whom? We're not sure yet. If it's not on TG Cahir or RTE, we will have it on Dubs TV. Keep an eye on the social media channels for all the detail. You can watch all of the games back, of course, on the Dublin GAA YouTube channel. That's it from us. The final score, Ballyboden 3-13, St Jude's 9 points. Until next time, take care.